Strapz.
Preferably
Wow.
in a residential area.
What's going on, everybody? This is Devore. You are tuning in to the Not for Debate podcast. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and all other major streaming platforms. NFL Conference Championship week. Obviously, we're going to be going over those betting odds and spreads. Also, we're going to talk about the Antonio Brown comments on the I Am Athlete podcast this week, as far as him wanting to play with the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Also, we plan on having a conversation on the possibility of the overtime rules possibly being changed due to the Buffalo Bills' heartbreak loss in last week's divisional round game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. But first things first, though, I know last week we ended up touching on the Ozarks coming out last week, and I'm going to be completely 100 with you. Saw the first 7, nothing but bangers. I highly recommend if anybody has not watched that series yet, like, you definitely need to go ahead and check it out. But one thing that really is head scratching to me, as far as how Netflix is rolling, as far as their TV series, is that they're coming out with parts. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, somebody's going to have to explain to me sooner or later, like, how does that work? Like, do they like double their profits or something like that, as far as like having it come out in parts? Because like I said, I watched the first 7 episodes. Like, I literally binge watched the first 7 episodes of Ozark between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I watched two Friday, and I watched probably like another 2.5 on Saturday, and then the game started Saturday, and then in the morning Sunday I ended up finishing up the last couple of episodes. So I was like, at the end of the first 7, I'm like, damn, like, this literally had me at the edge of my seat. Like, I want to watch some more. Some point in time down the road, I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to sit down and watch. We'll probably do like a review or something like that on the show. But as far as like the next 7, like, they talk about the next 7 gonna come out like 2023. I'm like, yo, that's gonna be like way too long for me to sit back and wait for the next 7 episodes to drop. So hopefully we end up getting the next 7 episodes sometime. I'm assuming
You're talking about Snowfall?
Nah, I'm talking about Ozark. Like,
Ozark.
I finished watching the first 7, and I was telling the audience that they literally have, like, they drop it in parts now. I'm so out of the loop as far as how Netflix is rolling now, as far as how they want to do their series. Like, it's crazy. Like, I gotta wait another.
Well, the more views, the more money they make. So if that's the whole point. They make more money the more time you watch shows. So that's why they split the season, so that way they can make more money off the views. That's why they have it like that.
Really?
That's what other TV shows do too. Like, for example, Power, the last season, I think they played like 6 episodes and then they came back the following year. They do that just to split it up so more people can watch it and they can make more money off the times that how many times it's on, appearing on the show. Why you think the actors get paid for what do they call it? When they play their reruns of their shows, they get paid for that. So the more it's being viewed, the more money that station or that network or that company makes. So that's why they do it like that.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the business side of it, but bump all that.
I hear
Drop all 14 episodes so I can watch my damn show. How about that? Because like if they would have did that for Daredevil or the Punisher, Jessica Jones or Iron Fist, I seriously would have been pissed off. Like I haven't watched anything on Netflix as far as a series since Ozark.
Ozark, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Like that's the only thing I watch on Netflix now. Because before I was watching Daredevil and all the other shows, and they canceled those shows. And then my girl was watching. She was watching You at one point, but we are late bloomers to You.
Like,
So
if they would have, right.
I haven't. So, you got some background going on.
Sorry
but
about that.
You're good. But like yeah, we were late bloomers to You. So we end up binge watching the whole series up to where it is right now, so it wasn't really that big of an issue. But this I wanted to ask you a question since you're a single man, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me I had to add this question because I was talking to some kids today at work, right? And they were like, I was asking them like, so how do you guys like, deal with the whole picking up girls situation? Like, you know what I'm saying? Since the whole COVID situation happened, like, do y'all like, you know, get COVID tested before y'all go out on a date, or how does this work?
That's exactly how it works most of the time. I know in the single life, they ask me, are you tested? Did you get tested? Did you get the vaccine? That's the constant question. And I always tell them, yeah, I caught COVID twice, but I did not get the vaccine, but I feel great. So, sometimes they're like, they don't care because a lot of people don't believe everything that the media is saying about COVID. So it doesn't stress them as much. So a lot of people don't ask. Most women don't ask, but a few do ask, and they just want to know. Now, if you're asking if that stops them from being interested, it all depends. I don't know. I haven't met someone to me. If not, it hasn't happened to me yet, so I don't know. But I think that is possible because you know how women are. Anything, any slight thing, if they see any sign, boy, they cut it off quick most of the time.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't envy you at all. I really don't envy anybody that's trying to date right now. Like I kind of feel like it's kind of weird.
That's
like
hard.
you gotta ask if you're vaccinated. That's almost like, do you practice safe sex? That's what it sounds like to me, to be honest with you. But yeah, like you just literally just violating your whole medical status by telling them, yeah, I'm vaccinated. Did you ever catch COVID before?
But
Like
see,
that.
but see, I don't care about no damn COVID. I want to know if you got a. I'm gonna keep it clean. I want to know if you got a sexually transmitted disease. I don't care about COVID. I don't. That's just mean. I'm sorry. I care if you got a vaccine. I don't care. That's not my problem.
I hear you. I definitely want to know if you got an STD before, if you got COVID or not.
Right? Yeah.
But that's just a weird conversation to sit down and have, like, for real, like on your first date. Like that's what you're talking about. Like that's
Oh,
crazy.
how you doing? What's going on? How was your day? What is your dreams? By the way, did you get COVID vaccine? It
Yeah,
just sounds weird. Yeah,
that's
that's
just like you're gonna have to smooth your way into saying that. So let me ask you this question, because the guys was telling me that nowadays they actually look, like, females literally look at your Instagram page to see how many followers you got.
that. That's just ridiculous to me. But hey, that's what people. That's the social media life now. Everything's social media, which is good. Social media can be great, but also it can be excessive.
That's an actual thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
People go on your page to see, if I don't know, if you got stuff going on for you. I don't know. You can fake it on social media, so I don't know. I don't usually do that. I don't care what you say or have on social media. I try to look for the person, like how good they are of a person. But all that social media stuff, that's just not me. But people do that. Men and women do that. They judge by whatever they see on Facebook or Instagram, which is crazy.
What happened to the old school way of doing things? Don't we miss those?
Which was what? What was the old school way for you?
You know, the old school way for me was like you literally just walked up to a girl if you liked her, and then they jot down your phone number, and then that was that.
Mm, yeah, that's true. I mean,
So
it's still the same. It's just social media is a part of it now. That's all.
and it's not really the same because
It's
now we
yeah,
talk about let me add you on Facebook, let me add you on Snap, let me go ahead and add you on Instagram.
yeah. That's too much. What I'm saying is the pursuit of a woman is still pretty much the same. I mean, if you write a girl in her inbox, it's the same way of you approaching her. Well, it's not the same, but it's similar. Everything's through social media now. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? The only bright side to that would be if they actually did have a social media, you could basically find out almost everything about that person by looking at their social media account.
Yeah, some people put their whole life on Facebook and Instagram. Good for them.
Yep. You basically be a walking encyclopedia on that freaking person before you actually sit down on the date. You just be sitting there asking questions you already know the freaking answer to.
You just analyzing.
Yeah, you basically just analyze it. Like literally, like back in the day when I started dating, I like literally looked at every single photo. Oh, that's nice. Like they would have like thousands of the photos, and I would literally go through almost every single freaking photo. Then I would look through the comments. I would look through every friend you have. And no, it's not stalking. It's what we have to do our recon before we go out on the first date.
Mm-hmm. I
Had
don't
to
think
do.
there's nothing wrong with that at all. You got to
Oh,
check
okay.
what you're dealing with, of course.
I'm just saying, like some folks find that kind of weird. Hey, I call it recon, bro. You gotta know what you get into before
I
you
don't know
actually
about
sit
going on
down
her
and do your
friends
thing.
list, but checking the Facebook just to see what how her mood is or whatever. I mean, I understand that, but all that going through friends list, I ain't doing that. That's too much.
Yeah, I go through the friends list.
That's too much.
I gotta know who you be associating yourself with because like you may end up looking, like a pretty nice person, but if you surround yourself by negative people, that kind of
True.
stuff rubs off on them. People
Yeah, it's
don't
true.
think about that, but it's true though.
That's true. I agree.
So, uh, first things first, man. I didn't want to go over. I was kind of trying to wait for Banks to come up in here because Banks was so excited when he heard the news on the I Am Athlete podcast. Antonio Brown stated that he wouldn't mind playing with Lamar Jackson as his next quarterback with the Baltimore Ravens. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I think that would be a perfect fit. For some reason, that coach, he has all different type of personalities through his coaching career. I mean, he had Ray Lewis, he had Ed Reed, he had Joe Flacco, the calm, relaxed person, and he had what was the running back, the one that got in trouble? Ray Rice, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Ray Rice.
He was able to calm that down, at least for the football purposes. Like, so I think that he can handle Antonio Brown's personality, and I think that would be a good fit for Lamar Jackson. And also, not that he should be vengeful, but he's going to play the Steelers twice a year, and he's playing for the rival team. So you want to beat down on your rival team. So I think that's a perfect fit. Perfect fit. Perfect quarterback. He finally needs someone he can throw the ball deep downfield. I say do it. Go with it. If I'm Baltimore, I'll sign him. I think they'll be able to keep him in check. Hopefully, you would hope.
He said, hopefully they'll be able to keep him in check. Okay. I was going to try to wait for Banks to come up here, but it seems like Banks might be running a little late today. I don't see this being a good fit
Why?
because, like, come on, man. Like, let's be 100 with each other. He doesn't throw the receivers. He throws to the tight end. So how
Okay,
is
but
that
that
going to
would
work?
change if Antonio Brown is there, Devore. That wouldn't
No,
change.
no, it would not change
Oh, come
because
on.
that's just how the offenses ran. Like they
Right, but you
run.
can change your offense year by. You don't have to stay with the same offense year by year. Teams adjust and change their offense. They can change it throughout the summer, throughout this offseason.
They could change it, but at the end of the day, it comes back down to Lamar Jackson. Are you willing to change the way you play football to cater to a receiver that needs the ball to be happy?
That's the thing, though. He doesn't have to change his game completely. He can still do his game, but now on top of his game, he has somebody he can throw the ball deep downfield. He just has to adjust to the receiver, but he doesn't have to change his game completely. Keep the same game, Lamar. Don't change it. Just throw the ball downfield now. Now he would actually have somebody if that does happen. But I doubt that will happen though.
So we talking about an Antonio Brown who thinks that he is worth at least, let's say, 10 catches a game. Do you think that Lamar Jackson is going to be able to fulfill that quota for Antonio Brown?
I don't think the amount of catches matters in this case because he would be with his. I mean, Hollywood Brown is his cousin. They have that connection there, so I don't think he cares. I just think that he wants to go to a team where he himself feels respected. Maybe he didn't feel respected in Tampa or Oakland or whatever teams he was on, but I think that for me, I don't think it would happen. But if it does happen, I think that would be a perfect fit.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like, if this happens, he's gonna end up destroying Lamar Jackson's confidence even more. He's
You think
already
so?
is, yeah, man. If he can't do it with Tom Brady, what makes you think he could do it with Lamar Jackson?
That's maybe it wasn't about Brady. Maybe it was about the coach and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I don't think he said he didn't have any issues with Brady. I don't think it was Brady. It was just playing for that team, maybe for him. I don't know, but
I'm
I
just,
what I
but who you think has a
okay.
better chance of getting the ball to Antonio Brown, Lamar Jackson or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady.
So is Lamar? Do you think Antonio Brown's gonna be able to stomach Lamar Jackson missing him when he's open? And it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen because this will be a different dynamic that Jackson would have. He doesn't have nobody to throw the ball downfield to, so I don't think you don't have any faith in Lamar.
You're right. I don't.
You don't have any faith in him. I'm like, damn, I'm trying, but nothing can change your mind about this. I don't understand how you have doubts in him, but he still was good enough to win the MVP. Like, how? How does that happen?
You can win MVP, but at the end of the day, I see past MVPs.
Yeah. Okay. The man is not that bad.
I see what's on the inside. That was on the outside.
So what's on the inside for him? What is
What's
it?
on what's on the inside?
Yeah.
I see a whole bunch of throwing erraticness that is just not sitting well with me right now.
He had a bad year. I ain't gonna lie to you. He did not have a good year.
Yeah,
Did not have
so
a good year at all.
we're trending. We're
Neither did
trending.
Ryan Tannehill either.
Hey, one guy. Okay, one guy went to the playoffs. The other guy didn't even win a division.
Okay, but one guy just sneaked in the playoffs because his team was good and he had a running back, and then he didn't have a running back, and then he had a running game. Like you don't understand how good the Titans as a team was. But anyway, that's a different conversation. We'll talk about
Oh, I understand, but at the end of the day, who's on the team?
who's on the team compared to the what he had in Buffalo. Sorry, not Buffalo, Baltimore. Offensively,
Hey,
he didn't have anybody.
injuries happen. You got to overcome the injuries. Injuries happened in Tennessee, and Ryan Tannehill overcame them injuries and led his team to the playoffs.
Not Ryan Tannehill. The Tennessee Titans led the team to the playoffs as a unit. It wasn't
Well,
because he was part of the team, yes, but it wasn't solely because of him.
well, while Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and Julio Jones was hurt, who was the leader of the team?
The head coach.
Don't play that game with me. Who was the leader of the team?
Man, that man just managed. He just managed. The defense played great. They still had a decent running game, not as great as when they had Henry, but that man just managed. He come on now, come on. Quinte coming in.
It's okay if he just managed the game, but at the end of the day, guess what? He still managed to take his team to the playoffs and won the division and got a
Okay,
first round bye. So
Okay.
that should be
Can I
an
say something
accomplishment
real
itself.
quick before I hop off?
What's
I
up?
gotta say something to G. I gotta say something to G real quick. I'm getting tired of people saying this. Derrick Henry didn't play half the season, right? And Ryan Tannehill with no weapons. The weapons came back in the last 3 weeks of the season, right? And he led them to the playoffs. Yeah, he shut the bed in the playoffs. Yes, I gotta give him that. But at the same time, you gotta give the man his credit. I'm not saying the man is the best quarterback in the league. You take stuff out of context, but he did lead the team to the playoffs. That's my
He
humble
was part of
opinion.
the reason. Yeah.
No, he was the reason. What mistake did you, G?
Oh my
What
God.
weapons
Okay.
did they have? What weapon? No, answer my question. Answer my question. Both his receivers missed half the season. His running back missed half the season. Right?
Hmm.
He helped them go to the playoffs. And I keep trying to tell people Dak Prescott is the same as Tannehill. If he learned to audible to running plays, he would have still been in the playoffs. His problem is Dak think he's Tom Brady, but he's not. He is Tannehill. I'm serious. He is. He's the same quarterback, bro. He's the same. He's no different. He's the same. If you put Dak on the Tennessee Titans team, you'll see how sorry Dak really is. Dak been on a stack team his whole career, bro. His whole career. He hasn't done shit. At least Ryan Tannehill went one game away from the Super Bowl once. He ain't done.
Yeah.
So
Give my man his credit.
Just give him his
Yeah,
credit, bro. I'm getting tired of people making excuses for other people, but when it comes to certain people they don't like, they oh this that he had this. No, buddy, you got to give him his credit. Just like I don't like Tom Brady, but I give the man his credit. That's all I gotta say.
No problem. Credit goes to the Tennessee Titans.
No, you got to give credit to the Tannehill. To the Tannehill, just like my daughter would say.
To Tannehill.
To the Tannehill.
Tannehill.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the man the best quarterback in the league. I know he's not the best quarterback.
Nobody said that, but they misinterpreted.
The game for him in the first. I'm gonna say this to you, bro. If you watch the game and they let Tannehill throw the ball more, they would have won the game. I'm being honest with you. My brother hates Tannehill, but he said if you let him throw the ball more, they would have won the game. They kept trying to force feed Derrick Henry. He wasn't ready to come back. He should have came back last week of the season. Got his legs under him a little bit so he could have some stamina. Cause he was tired. You can look at him every time he got 2 or 3 carries in a row. He got out of the game. He left out of the game. He was out of the game for 3 series back to back. They should have kept the ball given it to Foreman because Foreman was breaking off runs. He wasn't there. So come on now, dude. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. If Derrick Henry never came back, they probably won the game because they were trying to force feed the ball to Derrick Henry. If Foreman started the game, played majority of the game, they would have won the game. Cause who had the upper hand going to the playoffs? Foreman. Foreman had the momentum to the playoffs, not Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, yes, he's the bigger name, he's the better back, but Foreman had the momentum going to the playoffs. So you should have started him and let Derrick Henry spell him or help him out more. But they wanted to start Derrick Henry. That's what fucked them up. And know what else fucked them up? Playing that weak ass zone, letting that tight end go get open in the middle of the foot every fucking third down. That's what the tight end game. That's on Vrabel and that's on Tannehill for throwing the 3 interceptions. You gotta look at the whole game. People look at one half of the game and they don't look at everything else. Cause I don't know. That's just my humble opinion.
You got a point.
Because everybody knows if they play all those games over again, Buffalo wins the game, Titans win the game. I'm sorry, Banks, Tampa Bay wins the game. If they replay those games right now, as it stands right now, all teams moving on, they would have lost. And everybody knows that. It was a fluky last week. That was fluky as hell.
So you think
I don't know.
hold on. You think the 49ers that wasn't a real win? Like you think the Packers would
That
have
wasn't
won
a real
the
win to me. I'm gonna
rematch?
say this. I'm gonna say this to you, bro. If that was a fluky win to me, it was fluky.
Wow.
It was fluky. It was a defensive battle. It was a defensive
It
battle.
was.
But I know Banks like to say, oh, this, that. He's supposed to be the best quarterback, the best receiver. He has a receiver, a running back, and that's it.
But, hey, listen. I mean,
And that's
his
it.
numbers.
I'm gonna say one more thing. When he's gone next year, you're gonna see how sorry the Packers really are.
Yeah, true. That's true. But his numbers were pedestrians for him, but it wasn't inefficient. He was still efficient, 20 for 29, 225 yards. So I mean, that's not great numbers, but that's not bad numbers either. I don't know. He could have played better though.
Yeah, he could have played better. Yeah, but at the same time, when you have one weapon that you know who's gonna get open, all they gotta do is cover him. The other guys not ready to step up. That's what happens.
Right. Yeah.
Cause if you look at the 49ers, they got Bo Samuel, they got Ayuk, they got tight end, they got 2 running backs. They're not only superstars on the team is Debo and the tight end. Everybody else complementary pieces that work well within the offense. They don't have the same, like you could say the same thing with Tampa Bay. To me, the best person on the team should be what's his name, the tall light skinned dude, the receiver, but he's slow. He doesn't fit how Tom Brady played football. He's not that kind of receiver. The best receiver for Tom Brady was AB. That's why he didn't want AB to leave. If you be honest, if AB was in that game, they would have won the game. Cause AB done all those option routes, all those little quick slants. He know how to read the defense, know what Tom Brady looking for. Yes, yeah, people say AB crazy, but that motherfucker know the game. People don't understand that. He's a real wide receiver. Just being 100 with you. It's a lot of factors that went into the games that people don't realize. I understand they lost. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's factors. I look at the whole game, not just, this quarterback messed this up. You got to look at the play calling on defense, why they got this play. Because if they were stopping them 5 times in a row, but they call a weak defensive call, you're going to say, oh, man, look what they did right there. So it is what it is, bro. I know people not gonna give him no props. So
I would like to backtrack on that Buccaneers game. You said that they would have played it over, the Buccaneers would have won.
Yeah, they would have won. I'm being 100 with you. They would have won.
I'm not behind that.
It was
with Antonio Brown.
It was 20-something to 3. Hold on, I'm asking my question. It was 20-something to 3. How the fuck Tom Brady come back again?
It was
you can't take that from the man. That man is an assassin.
It was 3 turnovers by the Rams though that set up Tom Brady.
Okay. Look at this. Look, I'm gonna give you another example. The Tennessee Titans sacked Buddy 9 times, intercepted pass. How the hell did he win the game? And it was 2 times in 2 series. You understand what I'm saying? They magically called the timeout, and they were 4 down 2 times. 2 times. Even my girl said something weird. Why they did that? They didn't call no timeout. You didn't see nobody call no timeout, but they called the timeout. Come on now, dude. I don't want to say it's a conspiracy theory, but at the same time, I'm gonna say this to you: they're building Burrow to be the next Tom Brady. He does have it. I'm not going to front. He does have it. They wanted to be the next somebody. He can't do it. He needs to sit down somewhere. I see Cam Newton and Josh Allen. He's Cam Newton. He's going to be done in another couple years. He's going to be done. All
Who
that
you talking
running around,
about?
somebody going to mother up. Josh Allen. To me, I see Cam Newton.
I don't see no Cam Newton. I don't see no Cam Newton.
No. I'm not talking about his. I'm talking about all that running around he does, trying to run people over. That shit catches up with you after a while. Look what happened to Lamar this year. All that running around shit, that shit catches up to you after a while, dude. You can't keep doing that. You gotta learn. Well, I'm gonna say this: when you keep Josh Allen in the pocket, he sucks, and you know that. Yeah, you know that, DeVore. You keep his sorry ass in the pocket, he's gonna throw so many inaccurate passes that it don't make any sense. When he's moving around, ad-libbing, improvising, huh?
He played very well in the playoffs. In the loss.
But I'm gonna say this to you. Look at if you rewatch that game, all his passes were wide open passes. Besides one pass. Every pass is a wide open receiver. I mean 5-10 yards wide open. Think about it now. That's him running around, making time for the person to break out. Because you can't, as a DB, you can't cover for that long. Somebody's going to break off with you. And the wide receiver has an advantage over you as a defender. Just being 100, which you got to watch. You got to really watch the game. That's what I got to say. I need to go to the bank and put this money in the bank.
All right, Quinte, go ahead and do your thing, man.
I'm going to keep listening from the clouds, my brothers.
All right, Quinte. Appreciate you.
Later, brother.
All right,
Now, I wanted to go ahead and, since we was on the Josh Allen conversation, I wanted to go back and talk about the overtime rules, because this week that's kind of like been the hot topic due to the fact that, okay, the Buffalo Bills went down and scored with a minute left on a little bit less than a minute left on the clock, and then the Kansas City Chiefs came down, kicked the field goal, and ended up tying the ball game going into overtime. And obviously you have to go through the coin toss, and the Kansas City Chiefs ended up winning the coin toss, and they received, obviously, and they went straight down the field and scored. Do you think that the overtime rule needs to be changed and give the opposing team an opportunity to win the game too as well?
Because remember, the rules changed previously. Previously, you had any score you would win, but now they switched it to, if you score a field goal, the other team has a chance to either score a touchdown or score a field goal. So that changed as well. But now it's, if you score first, the game is over. I see there's people who are like, hey, stop them. This ain't football. You stop being babies. Like, stop them. If you want to be a great defense, if you want to go win a Super Bowl, stop them from scoring and get the ball back and score. There's people who think like that. Like, ain't no sympathy for you. So it's football. It's not golf or whatever it is. So there's people that feel that way, and then there's people like, that's not fair. And I am more into, I think both teams should have a chance. If a team comes down and scores on you, you should have another chance to tie the game. Now, if you can't in 4 downs, then you should lose. I think that they should change it. But the old me, the old aggressive Greg, I would have been like, hey, y'all lost. If you didn't want them to score a touchdown, stop them. Be a man and man up and play defense. But I'm older now, so I think differently. So I think both teams should have a chance.
I could not stand the old overtime rules.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the new overtime rules. If you can't prevent the opposing team from getting in the end zone, I get it. Because people are going to be like, yeah, well, the defense was tired. They was on the field too long, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But it all comes down to who wants it more at that point. It's when you're in training camp and you be doing those gassers and you be pushing yourself to do more. And I feel like that's one of those situations, if you guys want to go ahead and blame it on the Buffalo Bills defense being too tired. Like, they just didn't want it enough. So my thing is, I'm cool with the NFL overtime rules right now. Now, I wouldn't oppose if they did decide to change it. Like, if they decided they wanted to go, okay, it's sudden death, so it's going to start at the 20-yard line, and you're going to have to get your way in the end zone. If you don't get in and the other team gets in, then you win. But one thing that I will say that I don't like about overtime, the game should never end in a tie. And I'm talking about regular season.
Even regular season?
Well, yeah, regular season in general, regular season. Because I
Oh,
don't,
regular season. Yeah.
I've never seen a overtime game in the playoffs that actually ended in a tie. I would think that they would finish it with a sudden death, and they would figure that out. But yeah, in the regular season, games should never end in a tie. That needs to be scrapped from the rule book. Somebody has to win the game. Like who really wants to have?
Yeah, but
a
what
tie
if the
on the
game is like 4 hours long? That's the long ass football is hard to do.
Somebody got to score at some point in time. If
man.
3 to 4 hours long, somebody's got to score at some point in time. We're not going to sit here and just go back and forth.
See, the NBA, I think the NBA, I'm trying to just put in there. I think there's 3 overtimes in the regular season, and after the third one, if it ends in a tie, it's a tie. But in the playoffs, they just keep going. 3, 4, 5, 5th overtime. So I get that, but basketball is not as taxing to your body as football. So I don't know if that's not in the regular season. In the playoffs, that matters more because the playoffs. But regular season, I don't mind the tie. I don't mind. Like, who wants to keep going after you get hit after hit for 2, 3, 4 hours? And you're going to keep going? Nah, man, them dudes don't want to do that. Come on now. Not in the regular season. In the playoffs, yes, but not in the regular season.
I hear you. Like, I hear you for sure. I do. I hear you. But
I hear your point too. I hear your
as
point
long
too,
as they get rid of ties, I'm good. I don't care what you do with the overtime rules outside of that. Just do not have the games end in ties. That's it.
Did we have a game in the tie this year? Yeah, the Steelers and somebody.
The Steelers and the Lions. They ended in a tie.
That's right. Yeah.
It was there. Like, that was ridiculous. I'm like, come on now. Like, can we get a sudden death? It just seemed like nobody wanted to win that game between the Steelers and the Lions. Like, it was either a turnover or it was a stupid miscue by either Jared Goff. Oh, excuse me, it wasn't Jared Goff. That was Driscoll. Excuse me. It was either Driscoll or Ben Roethlisberger. Like, it was literally I hate to say it, a shit show. That's what it was. It was literally a shit show. Like, going back and forth. But see, 2 of the worst teams in the league, and we just could not end this. We could not end this game because nobody wanted to win it. That's just that's what I've observed from that game.
Yeah, that game was ugly. That game was ugly. But some people like that excitement. Some people like 2 teams battling out, and they're just so evenly matched that they can't beat each other. That sounds stupid now that I say that, but I mean, there's people that think like that. So
who are we kidding ourselves? What the audience wants to see
is a who win, a loss or win. Yeah.
No, they want to see 50 million points on both sides for each team. That's what they want to see.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, that Green Bay San Francisco game was a classic. That was a defensive battle. I love those type of games. Not most people think like me. I get it, but
you're not the average viewer though.
I think people still love old school football too. But I get you.
Like, if you were the average viewer, like, most of these,
you want to see points on the boards.
Yeah, they want to see points on the board. I'm trying to figure out what Super Bowl. Oh, it was the Rams and the Patriots. I believe
the second one, right? The second one.
The most recent one with Tom Brady and Jared Goff. That one, right. Where the final score ended up being what?
10-6, I think.
It was like 13-6 or something like that. And
I'll look it up.
And like, so many people were so upset with the result of the Super Bowl. That showed you right there that folks are not into defensive struggles. Like, did I say that right? Defensive struggles?
Yeah.
Defensive struggles. So they're not into defensive struggles. They want to see points. They want to see 10,000 points score. Like when you go to the Super Bowl, if you decide to go to a Super Bowl party this year, just check out the rest of the people that are in the room and see how they respond. Because let's just play devil's advocate. If it's going to be, let's see, or really at this point, I really feel like it's going to be a lot of points going to be scored regardless who's in the Super Bowl now at this point. So
Not at the 49ers, though.
You said not with the 49ers, you don't think so?
I think their defense is too good to. They're going to keep it close whoever they play. Well, we're going to get into it, but go ahead, make your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like just pay attention to the vibe of the people that are sitting down and watching the game. Like they literally react differently when they see a lot of points being scored. Like that's why folks think that last week's game with the Chiefs and the Bills was such a great game because like it was always somebody scoring, which I'm not upset with it. Well, I'm not upset. I can understand how they feel. I love the game too. Like seriously, like if it's on NFL Network, NFL Replay, I'm going to sit down and watch it like it's a brand new experience. But
so you didn't like the Rams and Buccaneers game? That wasn't high scoring. That was low scoring. Or 30-27.
Yeah, I look. I enjoy all forms of football. I'm not complaining. Well, only game I didn't enjoy was probably the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was probably the only game I didn't enjoy because it was really that ridiculous that nobody wanted to win that game. But
that's true.
Like I'm cool with any kind of football being played. If we're gonna sit here and play the long game, defensive struggles, we're not trying to turn the ball over because we know how good your defense is, and the final score ends up coming down to like 10-6 or something like that. I'm cool with that. Like I literally have no problems. Oh, I take that back. So the Super Bowl with the Broncos and the Seahawks. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
That was a boring Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was. It was. You know what else was boring to me?
What's that?
The Steelers and the Seahawks back in the day. I thought that was boring too.
That wasn't that bad because at least there was something going on in the game where it wasn't that bad. But that Broncos and Seahawks Super Bowl, that was very, very underwhelming. And it was extremely boring after I would probably say the third or fourth score that the Seattle Seahawks decided to put up on the board. But man, like when you sit back and like seriously think about it for real, you'd be like, damn, like I literally sat down and I've watched this many Super Bowls.
True, but there's some Super Bowls that were low scoring that were great, like the Rams and the Rams and the Patriots, the first one. That I thought that was low scoring, but that was great as well.
Wasn't that like 24-21, something like that?
I think it was 21 to. No, I think you're right. 24-21. But that's not. That's to me. That's still low scoring. I say high scoring is when you get into the 30s or the 40s. If you're in the 20s and under 25, that's still pretty much a defensive game.
Yeah, true. I hear you. I definitely hear you. So, yeah, hopefully this Super Bowl is going to be exciting. Like I'm looking.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm looking. I want it to come down to the wire, where it be a good score would be 24-31, something like that. I feel like that would be a very, very good score to be when the clock strikes 0 and the confetti is dropping to crown whoever the team is going to be in the Super Bowl.
So it was
the champion of the world.
The 17, the Patriots over the Rams back in 2002. But yeah, I think who, regardless of whoever gets in, is going to be a great Super Bowl. Regardless, I don't care who it is. But I have my personal picks though.
1000%. All right. I guess the time has come for us to go ahead and move forward with the conference championship spreads. But first things first, this episode of Down for Debate podcast is brought to you Bet Us. Upon sign up, you can go ahead and put in the promo code NFD Bet all caps. You get 125% with the sign up. What's the first game we got up on the screen? Man? Well, we only got 6 games, so.
Bengals at Chiefs, and Chiefs are a 7-point favorite. I think that's right. I think the win in the regular season, because they just played, I think, week 16, I believe. They just recently played. It wasn't too long ago. I think the Bengals needed that win more than the Chiefs did. Because if the Chiefs lost, they still would have been in position to get the number 1 seed, which is exactly what happened. I think that was just a regular season win. I think the Chiefs are a better team, and I've said it since like week 12, 13 that they've adjusted, and that's my team out of the AFC to go to the championship. So I'm going to stick with it. Give me the Chiefs to cover and win the game.
Cover and win the game. I like it, G. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the Bengals.
On the road, huh?
I'm going with the Bengals on the road, yes.
So you got the Bengals in the Super Bowl? Boy,
Whoa, wait a minute. The Bengals are at home, ain't they?
No, the Chiefs are at home. Chiefs has number 1 seed.
No, right? Wait a minute.
Oh,
yeah, you're right. The Kansas City Chiefs are at home. My fault.
Okay.
Yeah, the Chiefs are at home. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. Underdog to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going to go ahead and money line them.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't be wrong, but I just got the Chiefs winning.
Hey, they're hot right now.
Who do they play? Tennessee. No, they didn't. Who do the Bengals play?
Yeah, they play Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Just making sure,
Yeah, they played Tennessee last week. We just got finished talking about Ryan Tannehill. So
I know, DeVar. I was trying to mess with you.
Oh, that's what that was. That went right over my head. But so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and money line them. You're gonna go ahead and take the Chiefs with the points, right?
With the points, yeah.
All right. So last but not least, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. Rams are a 3.5-point favorite.
The 49ers beat the Rams 6 times in a row over the last 3 seasons, I believe.
6 times in a row?
6 times in a row, yeah. Do I believe that the 49ers will beat the Rams? Yes, I do. I really do. And I'm sorry, Banks, but yeah. I just think that defense is too much. I know the Rams have a good defense too, but there's something special to me about that 49ers defense. Like, they play hard. They got so much energy, and maybe I'm going off emotions. I don't know, but sometimes the game is mental, and I think that they're on the road, man. A lot of teams have come out of the 6th seed playing a wild card, playing on the road 3 games in a row, and I think that this is going to be one of the teams that are that going to surprise people. They already beat the Packers. Sorry, now they got the Rams, and this is a rivalry game. It's going to be a good game. But I'm going with the 49ers. Give me the 49ers. I'll money line
them. 6 times in a row they beat them, right? You said? So this is going to be 7 if they pull this off on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm going underdog for both games. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm going with the 49ers. Like,
the thing is... Go ahead. I have a question.
No. Go ahead. Ask your question. My bad.
No, I just have a question. Do you believe in the offense from Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, he stinks it throughout the regular season, but somehow he's becoming Joe Flacco and Eli Manning in the playoffs, just out of nowhere. Do you think that offense is good enough to beat the Rams?
I wouldn't exactly call him Joe Flacco. To be honest with you, he's just probably lucky. So he's on that Eli Manning status right now without the rings. Because, like, you said you weren't happy with Aaron Rodgers' stat line, but let's be 100 with each other. Jimmy Garoppolo threw that interception at the end of the first half, and right after that, Aaron Rodgers slings the ball down the field to Aaron Jones, and I was so confident when I was watching it on TV. I was so confident that Aaron Jones was going to walk right into the end zone. So I looked down for a second, then I looked up. And then I realized Aaron Jones got tackled. Like, what the hell? Like, he was literally about to walk in the end zone, and he just ends up getting tackled. And then obviously right after that, they had the blocked field goal. So let's just say, let's just say, like, if Aaron Jones would have gotten the end zone, would you have been satisfied with Aaron Rodgers' one touchdown for the whole game and also them walking away with a W?
Yes, because I don't think he played bad, but 20 for 29, that's like for Aaron Rodgers, that's like pedestrian numbers. That's like a quarterback who's just managing the game. He should have at least 35 to 40 passes a game and one touchdown. But if he kept those same similar numbers with one touchdown and the win, I would have said he had a decent performance. I still would have been like, hey, maybe he could have did more. But if they won the game, you just have to win some ugly way in the playoffs. Sometimes the game is just ugly. You just have to find a way to win. And I know y'all remember that I said something in the chat. I thought that the Packers was just going to do just enough to win the game. Just do just enough. Because the 49ers defense the 49ers, at least on defense, was playing that special that you have to try to just win an ugly game. They stopped you the whole game. One drive could have finished it. But, the field goal, the blocked field goal, and it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. But he didn't have a bad game. I just thought he could have had a better game to his standards.
Right. So just looking at the 49ers, like they have a lot of weapons on the roster. So now the question is, are they going to be able to compete with the Rams? Because the Rams got a lot of weapons on their roster.
That they do as well. I just feel like, and I hate to say this, but I feel like Stafford is going to throw a pick at the wrong time. I hope he doesn't, but he just has that in him, that he's going to mess up one time. So I don't know, man. I don't know. For Banks' sake, I want his Rams to go, but I don't think not anybody. I don't think the Rams can beat the 49ers. I just don't see it.
Hey, look, I'm all about the underdog. I'm gonna go ahead and go take the 49ers. 7 games in a row, they're gonna beat the Los Angeles Rams. And guess what? The best part about it is if they beat the Rams, Banks is gonna be quiet as a church mouse when we come back Sunday night.
Oh, he might not even show up.
Oh, you already know. You already know. Banks ain't even gonna show up if that happens. We're gonna have to make sure we put him on suicide watch. Make sure nothing happened to him.
Put out an APB. Y'all seen Banks? Where he at?
Yeah, where he at? All that trolling he was doing all this week. Where is he at? So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Niners upsetting the Los Angeles Rams with the money line.
Okay, but be ready if the Rams win, because then he gonna talk so much.
Oh yeah, I already know. I already know what's gonna happen if they win. Like he probably gonna drive around his neighborhood honking the horn saying the Rams going to the playoffs. The Rams are going to the playoffs. All right, so we approaching that 55-minute mark. Did you have any final thoughts before we end up closing this thing out, man?
I honestly believe that James Harden and Joel Embiid would be a perfect match for each other. I really think that will. I think Harden would feel at home if he plays in Philly. I think he can handle Joel Embiid's attitude, and I think Joel Embiid can get Harden mentally tough, because I don't know if you've been watching, but this guy Joel is just carrying the Sixers, and on top of that, he's balling. He got all these shake moves, and I don't know what he did in the offseason, but that boy is balling, and it's just so disappointing that Ben Simmons sees that, see how this man is carried in team, and you just don't care. Like, get him out of Philly, trade him, get him out, find a way to get James Harden in Philly, because he doesn't want to be in Brooklyn. That is another conversation. That Brooklyn team is a psychological mess. But yeah, James Harden with Joel Embiid would be a good fit in my opinion. But other than that, peace and love. That's all.
And we went over this. We probably gonna save it till Saturday as far as the whole Ben Simmons conversation. Once you burn that bridge, that's it. Well, I'm not playing with you no more. Like you ain't stick up for me in the playoff game. Like what we talking about? But Banks tried to Ben Simmons crucify me too, so I understand how Ben Simmons feels.
I get his point of it, but it's just frustrating, because when they were on the floor together, they were the best defensive team in the league, and I think if he just would have tried more, they probably could have won a championship together. But unfortunately, he's not happy there. So maybe the problem is Doc Rivers. I don't know, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna find out, because the trade deadline is rolling right around the corner. February. Yeah. What's the trade deadline? February what?
I think 16th.
Like February 16th. So we got All-Star Weekend is right around the corner.
That's true too.
That's interesting. But really, I really don't have anything else. I guess we're gonna be back on Saturday evening around 9 p.m. Eastern time. Be sure to go ahead and follow us on our Twitter, Instagram, and our Facebook pages. You could also listen to us on our Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, and all other major streaming platforms. Also, be sure to sign up with Bet Us, where we sponsor our bets, where you can get 125% in bonuses with your sign up by using NFD Bet. This is the Not for the Bay podcast. We're about here, man.
Later.